Hello everybody, welcome to the Ask Me Anything for May 12th, 2022. We do these every Thursday. Members submit questions, other members upvote them, and the most popular ones get answered live each week. It's 9:35 as I start this, a.m. Pacific Time. Should have started at 9:30, but my baby had other plans, and so that diverted the entire morning. So with that being said, I'm not as well prepared as I would be normally for this with, some bullet points jotted down or whatnot, a little roadmap that I'd like to follow. So I'll still get to where we're going, but hopefully I don't ramble too much since I don't have everything jotted down. But I looked over the questions. There's some great questions, and then we'll do a couple shout outs at the end here, and we should be good to go. All right. First, pardon me. First most upvoted one from Melanie C. She says, this is sort of a follow-up question to Chris W.'s question from April 21st around accessory work. Does that advice change for a complete beginner / untrained person? I've been doing Linchpin for 2 years now with no fitness background at all. I'm stronger and faster than I've ever been. Although, not so compared to some of the beasts in the group. I have found, however, that gaining skills can be quite elusive. Pull-ups, full push-ups, toes to bar, higher box jumps, etc. Is accessory work more, quote-unquote, essential for people like me, or do I just need to be more patient? Any advice you would give to an untrained beginner? Fantastic question. Probably why it's the most upvoted one. So, I know this is always such an unsatisfying answer, but it's a little bit of both, and it truly is. And here's what I mean by that. The advice that I give applies to, as we say, most. To most people, under most circumstances, most of the time. There could be the odd human being out there that has a rare case, an impingement, some sort of a deficiency, and what experience has shown me will be a normal progression might be slightly different for them. There are certainly those cases out there. So, the advice and recommendations that I give is the most. So getting back to Melanie's question, for most people, under most circumstances, most of the time, yes, with patience, you will get the things that you described. Pull-ups, full push-ups, toes to bar, a higher box jump, etc., etc. What will your personal timeline be to achieve those things? Well, that changes. Now, you say you're a complete beginner with no fitness background. Well, that right away would lead me to believe that your path to those things would be greater, potentially far greater, than somebody that has been working out their entire life, but not maybe with CrossFit style workouts. Maybe they haven't been doing barbell work, right? They've mainly lived on machines in the gym. They haven't been squatting and doing cleans and sprinting and doing pull-ups, even before CrossFit, as most people didn't do kipping pull-ups, they're doing strict pull-ups or lat pull-down machines, something like that, crunches. But if you're coming from zero fitness background, well then, I think what's important to note is that the things that you mentioned also do take time, because I think it's okay to admit they're really hard. They may be common in CrossFit, but just because they are common in CrossFit should not be confused with they're easy and that you should get them quickly and readily. Pull-ups are really tough, especially for an untrained athlete. Full push-ups, just true body planked out push-ups, not knee push-ups, not elevated push-ups, are really hard. Let alone something like a toes to bar is extremely difficult as well. And then not just box jumps, but you mentioned higher box jumps. So you're not talking about just simple stuff. So getting back to what I said, with patience and understanding what scaling truly is, what I've seen over the last 16 plus years, you will achieve everything that you just mentioned. Let's take the first one you mentioned, pull-ups. And if you've got nothing, like we say, but just a modest set of rings, there's 1,500 different ways you could attack getting a pull-up, with bent over rows and barbells and dumbbells and negatives and tempo work and bands and all this stuff. You just had a simple set of rings and patience, and that's all you had. And understanding that, your body's straight up and down. If you barely have any incline to it, ring rows generally aren't that difficult. As you move your feet, the demands on your midline increase to keep your body rigid and planked out. The demands on your upper body to pull the rings to your chest increase. And as you continue to increase the angle of your body, the difficulty of the ring row increases all the way till eventually months or years later, when you have your feet up on a box and you're doing ring rows like that, you've got pull-ups, I'm here to tell you. And you've been able to build it incrementally along the way. And if you have the opportunity to put wonderful variants into that, with bent over rows, with hand over hand sled pulls with a rope, with band work and all kinds of other things, you will most likely accomplish that goal even quicker. But if you're just scaling pull-ups whenever they happen to come up, or bar muscle-ups, or rope climbs, all the upper body pulling, if you're just scaling it in an appropriately challenging way for you, so it's not just this thing that you overscale that's so easy and you blow through it, you're working hard, right? And you are improving in that area that you're deficient in. That continual improvement will yield results. I can't tell you the exact timeline, but I've seen it over and over and over again. It's the path that most of us used to get here. Back in the day, accessory work just wasn't popular. It just wasn't a thing because everybody wasn't enraptured with games athletes, and so doing extra training. He just did the workout of the day and incrementally got better. And it took the time that it took, and that was okay. And then, I'm not saying this is your case, Melanie, but then I think competition just became so seductive and all of that, and everyone got themselves in just a big darn hurry. And, nothing wrong with that. But to answer your question, they will come. Now, let's look at the other side. There is, should you do a bit of extra work, extra accessory work? There's nothing wrong with that. And done intelligently and at an appropriate level for what your body can tolerate, and so that you're nice and recovered the next day when you want to go into train, you finding that sweet spot, I wholeheartedly believe you will just achieve the skills that you mentioned faster. And you've got a full green light to do that if your schedule allows it. You enjoy doing it. You've made it a priority that using that time in your day is best served doing that and not doing something else. And you are honest in your assessment of, is it an appropriate amount that doesn't leave you feeling so sore that you can't hit the workout the next day how you should. So that being said, absolutely nothing wrong with that. And some things you can practice. So there's a difference between practice and training. Okay? Training, if we're getting back to like the 10 general physical skills, and you've got 4 of which are organic, 4 of which are neurological, and 2 of which overlap, and the 2 overlap are power and speed, meaning you would have to do both organic development and neurological development to fully develop power and speed. But the organic ones, and I didn't look at the 10 general physical skills in a while, so I'm going to try to blow the dust off. Flexibility, strength, I'm going to look at the 10 general physical skills here because it's going to drive me crazy. CrossFit. 10 general physical skills. Okay, here we go. What is fitness? I need to get more sleep with the baby. Okay, so you've got cardiorespiratory endurance, stamina, strength, and flexibility. The first 4 of the 10 general physical skills. Those are developed through training, meaning like an actual change will take place in the tissue of your body. Your body's ability to process oxygen, you can tell the difference, the density of your muscle fiber, range of motion about a joint, things of this nature. Those happen through training, right? You're putting in some effort there. The bottom four, coordination, accuracy, agility, and balance, those don't so much get improved through training, although they do, but they happen through practice. And so, meaning, the example they always go back to is a double under. So if you're struggling with double unders, well, do you need training or do you need practice? Now both will help, but if the athlete can jump 2 inches off the ground and can spin their wrists while their hands are next to their body, they don't most likely need any more cardiorespiratory endurance, stamina, strength, or flexibility. So those organic components are not holding them back. It's not like they need to get stronger and increase their lungs and increase their flexibility and their stamina. What's holding them back is the coordination, accuracy, agility, and balance to time the jump into the air, the motion with the wrist, where is the rope going, do the feet hit it or not hit it, does it land in front of your feet, behind your feet, can you start syncing them together? That occurs through just practicing double unders and just slowly honing in that sequencing of the coordination, accuracy, agility, and balance. And so some of the skills that you mentioned, Melanie, some of them are just a practice deal. And practice in general doesn't really beat you up, right? Another example I could give is the Bergner warm-up. Fantastic drill to just grease the groove on the barbell snatch. And you can do the practicing the snatch. It can be done with just an empty barbell or a PVC pipe or a broom handle. And you're working on exactly that, the sequencing, the neurological components, how does the body fire, passing off from big muscle groups to small muscle groups, the coordination, accuracy, agility, and balance component. That won't leave you beat up the next day. It's not going to interfere with your training at all. Same deal most likely with spending 5 minutes practicing your double unders. Now, if you're working on something that requires some training, okay, the organic components, cardiorespiratory endurance, strength, stamina, flexibility, maybe you're working towards your pull-ups. Well, you most likely have the range of motion that you need for the pull-ups, but you need to probably get stronger. And so you're going to be stressing the muscle fiber in the tissue. It's going to break down. It's going to be sore. It's going to recover stronger. That may influence your training the next day or two. So some of the skills that you're mentioning, you could work in on a very frequent basis with probably no disruption at all to your training because just some practice will make them better. Double unders was an example, as was the snatch. Handstand walking, if you have the strength to do it, most likely people just need to practice that skill, for example. Other things like a toes to bar, for example, or a pull-up, most likely there's some training, developmental of those organic components there, and that's going to require something which, may leave the athlete sore. So finding that nice balance for yourself, totally good to go. And just make sure that, keep the main thing, to quote my friend Mr. Adrian Bosman. And the main thing is the workout of the day. And so you just want to make sure you're not disrupting the main thing. And so if you start to do so much accessory work and so much extra training or practice that you are negatively impacting the workout of the day, which is the main thing, then I would say you're not striking a beautiful balance. Rein in that extra work, rein in that accessory training a bit to keep the main thing. But if you can do that and then sprinkle on what is appropriate for you, good to go. Totally good to go. So I think you'll be solid. Okay. That was Melanie's question. Next most upvoted one is going to be very quick because I'm not going to answer it. And I'll tell you why here in a second. Let me just get a sip of my coffee. This coffee mug that I have here from the Rogue Invitational, a cherished keepsake from when I was, lucky enough to be part of the live broadcast there. Rogue's fantastic, and they gave us this, and they gave us a really cool, tall Yeti water bottle kind of a thing that has like a dual cap and the top said Rogue Invitational. It was awesome, right? And since it's a Yeti, it's probably like $250,000. Side story, our oldest son thought that would be a wonderful water bottle to take to middle school last week. We've never seen it again. Left it at school, and some other 6th grader is now the proud owner of a Rogue Invitational custom-made Yeti water bottle. So hope you're enjoying that, young man. Anyway, next most upvoted question from Patrick S. In regards to Wednesday's ABC question, which person would you pick and why? Okay, so what Patrick is referring to is on my personal Instagram. I'm just trying to make social media social again. That's it. Crazy as that is. Posting some fun stuff, lighthearted, if you will. And I posted a question that said, okay, you're going to go into an unknown physical challenge. Now, the more the people commented, the more I'm like, okay, I should have clarified in a couple ways. So here are my clarifications. You're going into an unknown physical challenge, not a CrossFit competition. That's not important to me. You're going into an unknown physical challenge in the real world. Don't know what that's going to be. Long, short, light, heavy, unknown. You get to pick a partner to go with you to tackle this unknown physical challenge. And so you're just trying to find not necessarily the person that complements you the best, right? Like maybe you're exceptionally strong and so you want somebody who's just a body weight, animal. But you're just trying to pick the most competent person for an unknown physical challenge in the real world. And they're a guy, and all you know other than that is one physical trait about them. Can't assume that they're a CrossFitter. You know nothing else about them. Athlete A has a 275-pound full snatch. Athlete B has a sub-7 2K row. Athlete C can do 30 strict unbroken pull-ups. That is the only bit of information you know about them. Based upon that unsatisfying amount of information, which athlete would you select to face an unknown physical challenge with you in the real world? It sparked it's fantastic just conversation back and forth, and people were all over the board with their answers. And the reason, Patrick, that I'm not going to tell you my answer is because I'll let the cat out of the bag that it did turn into such an interesting topic of discussion that Adrian Bosman and I actually did a Varied Not Random show on it yesterday, and that show will probably post in a couple of weeks. So I'm sorry for the cliffhanger, but I will reveal my answer, and you're just going to have to wait a little bit for it. But I'm glad everyone had such a good time. All right, next most upvoted question that I'll actually answer from Chris W. We do what's effective, not popular. But why is what's effective not popular? And why is what's popular not effective? The mystery wrapped in a riddle. Excellent question. So, this is probably one of those questions that had I penciled down some thoughts, I would be a bit more eloquent, but I can still get to the bottom of it right now. So we do what's effective, not popular. But why is what's effective not popular? Great question. Why is what's effective not popular? Maybe this is the simplest way that I could sum it up. Getting really, really fit in a short amount of time, doing a strength and conditioning program like CrossFit Linchpin that will get you the most bang for your buck with no fluff in the shortest amount of time you have to spend actually doing it is going to require that we spend our time on things that really move the needle. And things that really move the needle sometimes take a certain level of discipline to do. And what we do is simple, but it's not easy. Getting incredibly fit is really simple, actually. What's complicated are people. People are complicated. What you actually have to do to be a physical stud is not hard to wrap your head around. The challenge is getting everyone to do it, because everyone's got their different path and journey that they're on, different trials and tribulations, different mental blocks, different highs and lows of motivation and discipline, different strengths and weaknesses. Some people have got no issue getting outside their comfort zone and realizing that exposing themselves to variance and things that are challenging for them and things that maybe they struggle with and make them not look super athletic and not have a high time or score on the leaderboard, that's actually a good thing. Those people are going to have a fantastic, long, healthy journey because they get it. And then the struggle is with everyone else, and probably more regular human beings, that don't like doing things that are challenging. I mean, there's a very simple response right there. I think a lot of human beings are just hardwired for pleasure, and things which disrupt the pleasure, it takes a certain amount of a unique character and discipline to get in there every day and do it. And so that's why I think that we do, it's true at Linchpin, we do what is effective, not what's popular. And you can do a simple test and just, try this out for yourself. Talk to a bunch of buddies that maybe aren't already, hardcore crazy Linchpin people, and see which do you have more success with. Do you want to come over and, pull some heavy deadlifts and turn on some music and, have plenty of walk around rest time? Or do you want to go to the track and do some 800-meter repeats until somebody vomits? Now, of course, I'm using a little hyperbole and conscious exaggeration to draw a point, but you're going to get a lot more people putting their hand in the air for the lifting session. Call everybody over to the old garage gym. Say, hey, everybody, come on over. We're going to have a blast on Saturday. It's going to be such a great time. We're going to get in a workout. People are going to say, super, what are we doing? You're like, we're just going to work our L set. You'll probably be plenty of, parking in your driveway because nobody's going to show up. Hey, what are we going to do? We're getting great news. Fantastic news. We're going to do 3 1,000-meter repeats on the rower. It's going to be awesome. Nah, no thank you. Hey, what are we going to do? We're just going to practice our handstand walking. Hey, we're just going to, whatever it happens to be, there's a lot of stuff out there that really drives the needle, but it's sometimes not the fun stuff, right? And if you did it every day, you'd go crazy. And again, you could play this game with what's effective and not necessarily popular with so many other aspects of human life that if you have the discipline to do the right thing, you'll get to the end zone, right? Just in my casual observation of human life, most people really enjoy spending money. That seems to come very easy to people. They don't have to work hard for that. Saving money, being frugal, saying no to things and no to purchases, and investing maybe instead of saving, and not spending and turning down the new this and no, don't need the new that. That seems to be a bit more difficult. Everybody knows which one's most likely going to be more effective, but it certainly doesn't seem to be the popular choice. Spending your time doing something in the garage versus sitting on the couch watching Netflix. One's a very much easier choice, right? But Netflix seems to be quite popular. Squat clean thrusters do not seem to be very popular. Again, getting fit is relatively easy. It's human beings that are complicated. And so if you can get yourself in a group of like-minded people that are the good type of crazy, just like you and I, that support each other and help all of us make those decisions on a more frequent basis, amazing things happen. So what else is, and why is what's popular not effective? You can just go ahead and take a poll in the Linchpin community for that, of how many people we've had come from either unnecessarily doing competitors programming because it seems to be really popular. You don't even have to believe me. Take a poll in the Linchpin Facebook group as to how many people were just burnt out, tired, overtrained, knees hurt, back hurts, shoulder hurts, mentally just not into it anymore, and then actually stopped doing that, even though it's really popular these days. Doesn't mean it's effective. And started just pouring their heart and soul into one workout a day with true variance and really bringing some intensity and scaling when needed. And all of a sudden the sun came back out and they had fun again and their body felt good and the PR started happening again, and even in some really confusing ways, because a lot of that other there's a lot of stuff out there that also wants you to like lift heavy every single solitary day and then do a workout. That's very popular these days. Very seductive. Not effective for most people under most circumstances most of the time. Can you find somebody that thrived on that? Sure, of course you can. But again, I'm getting back to what works for most people most of the time under most circumstances. It's not that. And so again, we do what is effective, not popular. Here's another example. Respecting the heavy days. That's effective. It's not popular. Why? I wish I knew. I wish I knew. And all of a sudden we get these people back here in Linchpin that when we're going to go in and do a 5x5 back squat, that's all we're going to do. And we're going to really do an effective warm-up. And we're not going to shortchange the rest periods. And all of a sudden, things are going great. So, there's a whole bunch of examples out there of what's effective and not popular. And what's really cool is, little by little, we get a lot of people that were doing those other things find their way to Linchpin, and I wish they'd find it sooner, but that's cool. We're going to keep being, I don't know the right word I'm searching for, just our own little shop, doing what we know works, not worried about anything else. We've got a great community. We're going to take care of it. We're going to drive forward. Things are going to be really good. So that is that. Let's see. And I think maybe I can squeeze in one more real quick here. Again, with the baby delaying me, it just threw off my day here. Eric J. If this has been discussed, someone please direct me to the episode. Can you discuss what goes into preparing and providing Linchpin affiliate programming? Yes, and I think I can do that, in short order. So the Linchpin affiliate programming, it's the workouts of the day are the same as the workouts of the day for the individual track. The difference is there's a workout on Thursday, which is typically a rest day for us, but most affiliates are open 6 days a week, so there's 6 days of programming. The affiliate track also gives the user the ability to, and the right, I should say, to use Linchpin programming for their community into a large group of people, whereas, if you have the individual track, you should just be using it for yourself and not for 50 other people. That would be a dishonorable thing to do, a low integrity move. So the affiliate owners program is for that. Another key part about the affiliate program is there's a phenomenal lesson plan that is attached to every day's training that, coaches notes from managing your timeline, things to consider regarding equipment, everything that a trainer would need to just run a fantastic class. And we tried to find a beautiful balance with those coaches notes that it's just enough information to be highly productive and useful, but not so much information that it becomes robotic, rigid, and that coach can't let their personality shine through. And we've got a team of very highly competent trainers overseen by a level 4 coach making all of those happen. It's fantastic. Another key difference is the warm-ups. So the warm-ups could very well be different than the warm-ups given on the individual Linchpin track, because the warm-ups for the individual Linchpin track are designed for, the garage gym athlete, somebody working out at the fire station on a military base, in their apartment, in their basement, things of that nature. And it's probably you and maybe a buddy, right? But that may or may not be the best warm-up logistically speaking if you have 15 people to take through it, because maybe there's suddenly a bottleneck on the GHD to do hip and back extensions or something like that. And so the warm-ups are still equally effective and have generally considering the same elements, but they may be ordered in a different flow, so that if you're taking a 10, 15, 20 person class through the warm-up, the coach has the ability to just keep everything flowing in a nice, beautiful pace, and so that's a big deal as well. Let's see. In a class setting, accessory work most of the time is not going to be something that happens most of the time. So the timeline and the lesson plans or whatnot reflects that as well, to make sure that the coach has ample time to warm up, to do the actual workout, to help instruct and actually have time to coach the athletes in what they're doing. That requires time as well. And they have access to all of the same tracks, from the workout of the day to the wild card to the scale to the dumbbell option to the no equipment option, all that. So they can give any of those, if they desire, to their individual athletes, or have it just in their hip pocket in case they have an athlete traveling for work. They can give them the dumbbell option and all that good stuff. And of course that, gives them access to, beyond the whiteboard. And then as the gym owner, you've got several options. The Linchpin private track for gym owners is $85 a month. Try to keep it profoundly reasonable. And then what you would need in addition to that is a BTWB subscription as the gym owner. And you've got several options there. You can get BTWB has several different membership options, from do you have a small gym, medium gym, or large gym, and you can purchase a BTWB subscription that meets those needs. And then everybody in your gym has a BTWB subscription if you so desire. Or what that gym owner can do that is definitely the most cost-effective way to do it, and then it gives the choice, I guess, to the individual athletes at the gym, is that gym owner can get the Linchpin private track for gym owners, which is $85 a month. Then all that gym owner would need to make all of that programming happen and accessible is a BTWB subscription for $8 a month. So they could get it for $85 plus $8, so $93 a month. And then they can select what's known as a member pays option, and then each member of their gym, if they desired to have a BTWB subscription, could get their own individual one, and they just join that affiliate, so to speak. And so if half the members wanted one and half didn't, great. Those members can get themselves a BTWB subscription, see all the same stuff that everyone else is seeing, and life's good. Or if nobody wants one, then just the individual owner needs one, and get access to all that stuff to share with his coaches, and life's good. So got a lot of different options there. So that's it. Let's do one or two quick shout outs, and then I'm going to have to go and take care of more life, family, baby stuff, because that baby just she's running the show here. Alright, so we'll do two of these. Alright, yeah, I remember these. These are cool. Okay, first Linchpin shout out from Erin K. Says, okay, y'all, I finally did it. First time in my life I can do a pull-up. I worked on this for 2 years and got my first one this weekend. Started doing multiple singles, so now I can work on 2 in a row. I feel so strong. That's absolutely awesome. So congratulations, Aaron. Took 2 years. Good patience, good discipline. And that actually makes me think back to Melanie's question, and something that I wanted to mention that I did not is, if you're unfamiliar with it, Melanie, or anybody else, if you're on the BTWB home screen on the app, and there was just an app update, so what I'm saying might have changed, okay? But there was 3 lines in the upper left-hand corner. If you tap on those 3 lines, you get a drop-down menu. One of those options you can tap on says Programs, and BTWB has like 16 or so fantastic programs for getting your first pull-up, getting your first toes to bar, getting your first push-up, getting basically everything that you mentioned there. There's also one for the deadlift, the snatch, bench press, back squat, muscle up, all handstand walk, all kinds of stuff. And most of them are 15 to 20 session programs, beautifully laid out. They just layer into your training. And so you can select the one that you want, and then it takes all the guesswork out of it for you. So I would definitely check those out. Okay, and the next Linchpin shout out from Manny S. I entitled this one 100% Smart. I don't remember why. Let's see. It says, no plan survives contact with the enemy. Very true. And this was for a thrusters and single unders workout. It says, I did the general warm-up and then a few sets of overhead squats to a working weight of 42.5 kilograms. After that, I was ready to do the workout, so 3, 2, 1, go. I did 5 reps. Then on the 6th rep, the bar was dwindling over my head back and forth. So I dropped the bar and said to myself, there's no way I will be able to safely overhead squat that weight after 50 double unders. I had 2 options, dropping the weight or changing the movement. The weight on the bar was already scaled, so I feared missing some of the intended stimulus by scaling even more. The wild card option suggested thrusters. Perfect, so I went with that. I went as hard as I safely could despite the interference. I was hoping to do the thrusters unbroken, but after 1 round of double unders, my shoulders were smoked, so I had to break them up into 5 and 5. Fantastic call, smart call, well played, Manny. Excellent, excellent, excellent decision. And I remember that workout, and I did thrusters that day as well. And after the first round unbroken, you did them 5 and 5. I think I was 5, 3, 2 every time. So well done, congratulations. So we'll end it on that. And the last thing I'll say is, as always, keep the videos coming for the Linchpin Garage Gym tours. Garage gym, basement gym, backyard workout session, firehouse, military base, apartment, wherever it is that you throw down. Film it, maybe upload it to YouTube. Email me the YouTube link and I will post it on the CrossFit Linchpin YouTube channel under our Garage Gym Tours playlist. So you can just email it to me at info@crossfitlinchpin.com. That's info, I-N-F-O. So that's it. Have a great day, and we will talk again later.